$500 per month, not 5,000, not 50,000, not a windfall, an inheritance, a lucky investment, or a business that takes over your life. $500 per month invested in the most boring, most documented, most consistently effective wealth building mechanism available to an ordinary person in the United States. At historical average returns, that $500 per month becomes $1 million in approximately 30 years. $1 million from $500 per month, from something so straightforward that the most common reaction when people hear it is, that can't actually work. It works. It has worked for every person who has done it consistently for 30 years. It will work for the next person who starts today. The mechanism is not a secret. The math is not complicated. The investment required is not exotic. What is required is understanding exactly why it works, exactly what can derail it, and the specific structural decisions that separate the people who start this plan and finish it from the people who start it and stop. My name is Emily, and 26 months ago I was sitting at my kitchen table on a Wednesday evening, running a calculation I had never run before. Not because I didn't know the concept of compound interest. I had known about compound interest for years. Not because I had never heard of index fund investing. I had been investing in index funds for 3 years. I had never run the calculation because somewhere in the back of my mind, I had decided that $1 million was a number for other people. People who earned more. People who started earlier. People who had advantages I didn't have. Then, a friend sent me a compound interest calculator link with a note that said, just run your actual numbers. I ran my actual numbers. My current investment, $420 per month. My current portfolio balance, $18,000. My annual return assumption, 7%, the historical real return of the total market index after inflation. Time to $1 million, 31 years and 4 months. I sat at that kitchen table for a while. Not because 31 years felt short. It did not feel short. Because $1 million had stopped being a number for other people. It was sitting in a calculator with my actual inputs producing my actual outcome. And then I asked the second question. What if I increase my monthly investment from $420 to $500? Time to $1 million, 29 years and 8 months. $80 per month, $2.67 per day. Move my $1 million date from age 63 to age 61. 20 months of work traded for $2.67 per day. I increased my automatic monthly transfer to $500 the following Saturday. This video is everything I wish someone had shown me before that Wednesday evening. The exact mechanism behind how $500 per month becomes $1 million. The specific reasons most people who start this plan don't finish it. The structural decisions that protect the plan through the years when it is hardest to maintain. And the one behavioral variable that determines whether you are the person who runs this calculation in 30 years and finds that the math delivered what it promised. But first, the number that most people get wrong before they even start. The most common objection to the $500 per month plan is, I don't have $500 per month to invest. This objection deserves a serious answer because it is sometimes true and sometimes a perception that doesn't survive contact with actual numbers. The average American household earns $74,000 per year before taxes. After federal and state taxes and FECE, take home is approximately $51,000, $4,250 per month. The average American household spends approximately $47,000 per year, $3,917 per month. The gap between average take-home and average spending is $333 per month. Not 500, 333, which means for the average household, $500 per month in new investment requires either finding $167 of current spending to redirect or increasing income by enough to produce that amount after taxes. $167 per month, that is the actual gap between the average American household's current financial position and the $500 per month wealth building plan that produces $1 million. Not a dramatic lifestyle change. Not a second job that consumes evenings and weekends. $167 per month, $5.57 per day. Redirected from current spending to an automatic investment transfer. Is that easy? No. Is it impossible? The numbers say no. But I want to be honest about something else. For some households, the gap is real and larger than $167. For households below the median income, or carrying significant debt with high interest rates, or facing specific financial pressures that absorb every available dollar, the 500 per month plan may require a sequenced approach. Eliminate high interest debt first. Build a 3-month cash reserve second. Begin investing at whatever amount is genuinely available, even $50 per month, and increase systematically as income grows or debt shrinks. The specific dollar amount matters less than the consistency and the direction. $50 per month invested at 7% for 30 years is $122,000. Not $1 million, but $122,000 more than zero, and significantly more than the nothing that results from waiting until 500 per month feels comfortable. The plan scales to your actual situation. The mechanism is the same at every dollar amount. Start where you actually are. Now, the mechanism. Why does $500 per month become $1 million? The answer is compound interest. But saying compound interest is the equivalent of saying the car runs on internal combustion. Technically accurate and completely uninformative about what is actually happening. Let me show you what is actually happening. In month 1, you invest $500. It earns approximately $2.92 in that month at 7% annual return. Your balance is $502.92. This feels like nothing. It is nothing in isolation. In month 12, you have invested $6,000 total. Your balance is approximately $6,224. The market has generated $224 without you doing anything. Still modest, still not exciting. In year 5, you have invested $30,000. Your balance is approximately $35,600. The market has generated $5,600 beyond your contributions. Becoming visible. In year 10, you have invested $60,000. Your balance is approximately $86,700. The market has generated $26,700 beyond your contributions. In year 15, you have invested $90,000. Your balance is approximately $163,000. The market has generated $73,000 beyond your contributions. The market is now generating more wealth than your contributions. In year 20, you have invested $120,000. Your balance is approximately $262,000. The market has generated $142,000 beyond your contributions. The market is generating more than your total lifetime contributions. In year 25, you have invested $150,000. Your balance is approximately $394,000. The market has generated $244,000. In year 30, you have invested $180,000. Your balance is approximately $591,000. The market has generated $411,000. You are approaching $1 million, but not there yet. The final acceleration happens in years 30 through 35 because the compounding base is now so large that each year's market return generates more wealth than multiple years of your contributions did in the early years. At year 32, you cross $1 million. Total contributions, $192,000. Market-generated wealth, $808,000. You contributed 19% of the final balance. The mechanism contributed 81%. This is the number that changes how you think about the plan. You are not saving your way to $1 million. You are contributing enough to activate a mechanism that generates the vast majority of the wealth for you, but only if you give that mechanism enough time to operate. The $500 per month is the activation cost. The 30 years is the operating time. The $1 million is what happens when you pay the activation cost consistently over the operating time and do not interrupt the mechanism. Meet 3 people, all 28 years old, all capable of investing $500 per month, all starting in the same month. Their names are Nathan, Sophie, and James. Nathan starts with $500 per month and genuine enthusiasm. For 14 months, he is perfectly consistent. Then the market drops 18% in 3 months. His portfolio, which had reached $11,000, falls to approximately $9,020. He has lost $1,980 in paper value. This is not a small number to Nathan. He stops his automatic transfer. He tells himself he will restart when the market recovers. The market recovers 8 months later. Nathan restarts his contributions. He missed 8 months of contributions, $4,000, at a point in the market cycle when prices were low and every dollar purchased more shares than usual. He continues consistently from that point and never stops again. At 58, 30 years from his start, Nathan has $841,000. Not $1,841,000. The 8 months he stopped, and the $4,000 he did not invest during the recovery period when share prices were at their lowest, cost him $159,000 in final portfolio value. Not $4,000, $159,000. Because those $4,000 would have been invested at the lowest prices of the cycle and compounded for 22 remaining years. Sophie starts with $500 per month and immediately sets up automatic investment on the first of every month. She does not check her portfolio balance. She does not read financial news. When the market drops 18%, she does not know it has dropped 18% because she does not look. Her automatic transfer executes every month regardless of what the market does. At 58, Sophie has $1,063,000, not because she is smarter than Nathan, not because she earned more, not because she made better investment choices, because she set up one automatic instruction 30 years ago and never canceled it. James starts with $250 per month, half of the target amount, because $500 feels like too much right now. He plans to increase it later. He never increases it. At 58, James has $529,000. $529,000 is significantly better than nothing. It is $534,000 less than what Sophie has. The cost of starting at half the target amount and never adjusting, $534,000. Not because James made bad decisions, because he made a comfortable decision instead of a calculated one, and later never arrived. Same starting age, same market, same 30 years. Nathan has $841,000. James has $529,000. Sophie has $1,063,000. One variable, structure. Sophie built the structure before she needed it. Nathan had the intention without the structure. James had the structure, but at half the necessary scale with an adjustment that never happened. Here is how to build Sophie's structure. Step 1 is opening the right account. The account that $500 per month flows into matters significantly for your long-term outcome because of the tax treatment of different account types. For most people, the optimal sequence is the following. First, contribute to your employer 401k up to the full employer match. This is a guaranteed immediate 100% return on investment. If your employer matches 3% of salary, every dollar you contribute up to that match level immediately doubles. This match should be captured before any other investment action. Second, open a Roth IRA at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab, and invest in VTI, the Vanguard Total Market Index ETF, with a 0.03% expense ratio. Contribute up to the annual limit of $7,000, $583 per month. All growth in a Roth IRA is permanently tax-free. The person who contributes $500 per month to a Roth IRA for 30 years at 7% real return has a tax-free million-dollar portfolio, not $1 million minus capital gains taxes. $1 million entirely tax-free. Third, if your monthly investment target exceeds the Roth IRA monthly limit, return to your 401k and contribute beyond the match up to the annual limit. Fourth, if your monthly investment target exceeds both the Roth IRA and 401k limits, an excellent problem to have, open a taxable brokerage account and invest in VTI. For most people investing $500 per month, the Roth IRA captures the entire investment amount within the annual contribution limit. The 401k match is captured separately as the first priority. Step 2 is selecting the investment, VTI Vanguard Total Market Index ETF. This is the complete investment decision for the $500 per month plan at most life stages. Not because other investments are necessarily worse, because VTI provides ownership of approximately 4,000 US companies, has a 0.03% expense ratio, $30 per year on $100,000 invested, and has delivered the 7% historical real return that the $1 million calculation is based on. The SPIVA report published annually by S&P Global consistently finds that 88% of actively managed funds underperform the total market index over 20-year periods. 88% over 20 years. The investment that beats the majority of professional fund managers is available to you at $30 per year per 100,000 invested. One fund, one decision, one time. The time you would spend researching alternative investments is more profitably spent increasing your monthly contribution by any amount. Step 3 is the automation architecture. On the day you set up your Roth IRA, not this weekend today, you complete 3 specific actions. You set up automatic monthly investment from your checking account to your Roth IRA, $500, scheduled for the 2nd of every month, one day after your paycheck typically arrives. Automatic, permanent, no monthly decision required. You set your IRA to automatically purchase VTI with any cash that arrives. This eliminates the decision of when to buy. Cash invested the day it arrives captures more time in the market than cash that sits waiting for a better moment. You write down the following sentence and store it somewhere you will find it. This transfer executes every month regardless of what the market is doing. I do not cancel this transfer. I do not pause this transfer. The market going down is not a reason to stop. The market going down is a reason to continue because I am buying more shares at lower prices. This sentence is not inspiration. It is a behavioral instruction written by your current rational self to your future emotional self who will be scared when the market drops 20% and every financial news headline suggests the world is ending. Your current self has read the history. Your future self will feel the panic. Write the instruction before the panic arrives. Step 4 is the RAISE protocol. This is the single most powerful mechanism for compressing your timeline from 30 years to 25 or fewer. Every time you receive a salary increase, before the new income arrives in your checking account, before your spending adjusts to expect the higher income, you log into your Roth IRA and increase your automatic monthly transfer by 50% of the after-tax increase. Not 100%, 50%. The other 50% goes to your quality of life. Because a plan maintained for 30 years must be psychologically sustainable, and deprivation that continues indefinitely eventually breaks. But 50% of every raise, captured before lifestyle inflation absorbs it, compounds at the same rate as your original investment. A $3,000 annual raise, $250 per month, invested at 50%, beginning in year 5 of your plan, produces an additional $51,000 in your final portfolio at year 30. A second $3,000 raise in year 10 produces an additional $37,000. 2 raises, 50% each, $88,000 additional dollars in your final portfolio without changing your lifestyle significantly because the money was redirected before your lifestyle ever learned to expect it. The RAISE protocol does not require discipline at the moment of the raise. It requires one login and one transfer adjustment on the day the raise is announced. 4 minutes. Before lifestyle inflation makes the same action psychologically painful. Step 5 is the annual portfolio review. Once per year, I do this on the first Sunday of January. I spend 20 minutes on 3 specific tasks. I verify my automatic monthly transfer is still executing correctly. I verify my IRA is investing in VTI at the expected expense ratio. I calculate my progress toward $1 million. Current balance divided by 1 million equals progress percentage, and record it. That is the complete annual review. Not rebalancing between different funds, not timing the market, not reading reports about which sectors are poised to outperform, verifying that the mechanism is running correctly, calculating progress, recording the result. The progress calculation is worth spending a moment on because it is the most powerful motivation maintenance tool available for a 30-year plan. At the end of year 1, your progress is approximately 6%. At the end of year 5, it is approximately 9%. At the end of year 10, it is approximately 19%. At the end of year 15, It is approximately 35%. At the end of year 20, it is approximately 58%. At the end of year 25, it is approximately 87%. At year 32, 100%. The progress percentage moves slowly in the early years and then accelerates dramatically. Most people who quit the 500 per month plan quit in years 3 through 7, when progress feels negligible and the $1 million target feels distant. The progress percentage makes the movement visible, from 6% to 9% to 12%. Each percentage point represents $10,000 of progress toward 1 million. When you can see the number moving, when 9% becomes 12% becomes 15%, the distance to 1 million becomes concrete rather than abstract, and the year 3 through year 7 period that claims most people's consistency becomes survivable. Now, I want to address the question that lives underneath everything I have said. What if this doesn't work? What if I invest $500 per month for 30 years and the market doesn't return 7%? The honest answer is the 7% historical real return is an average that contains significant variation. Some decades, the market returned significantly more than 7%. The 1990s delivered approximately 14% real annualized returns. Some decades, the market returned significantly less. The 2000s, 2000 to 2009, delivered negative returns for the decade as a whole. What the 30-year average has never done, in any 30-year period since 1928, is return less than 5% real annualized. At 5% real return instead of 7%, $500 per month for 30 years produces approximately $674,000. Not 1,000,000, 674,000. $674,000 is not $1 million. It is $674,000 more than zero. And it is the worst historical 30-year outcome. The return you would have received in the most consistently unfavorable 30-year market period in American history. At 7%, you reach 1 million in approximately 32 years. At 8%, you reach 1 million in approximately 28 years. At 5%, the historical floor, you reach $838,000 in 30 years and 1 million in approximately 36 years. The plan is not fragile. The plan is the most stress-tested wealth-building mechanism available to an ordinary investor based on 96 years of data. What makes the plan fail is not the market. What makes the plan fail is the investor. Stopping during a crash, starting at half the target amount and never adjusting, never starting because the goal felt too large until the optimal starting decade was gone. Nathan's 8-month pause cost him $159,000. James's starting at half and never adjusting cost him $534,000. Both of these outcomes were caused by investor behavior, not market performance. Sophie's $1,063,000 was not produced by superior market timing or exceptional investment selection. It was produced by a 4-minute automation setup 30 years ago and the complete absence of interference with the mechanism she set in motion. Let me give you the number that should permanently resolve any remaining hesitation about starting now versus starting later. If you start the 500 per month plan at 25, you reach 1 million at age 57. If you start at 30, you reach 1 million at 62. If you start at 35, you reach 1 million at 68. Each 5-year delay moves your $1 million date by approximately 5 to 6 years. But the cost is not just 5 to 6 years of working longer. The investor who starts at 25 and stops contributing at 55, 30 years of contributions, has a portfolio of approximately $1,600,000 at 65 after 10 additional years of growth without contributions. The investor who starts at 35 and contributes until 65, 30 years of contributions ending at the target retirement age, has a portfolio of approximately $1 million at 65. Same 30 years of contributions, same total dollars invested. The investor who started 10 years earlier has $600,000 more at 65, not from contributing more, but from 10 additional years of compounding at the beginning of the timeline when there was more time for the early contributions to grow. The cost of waiting 10 years to start is not 10 years of delay. It is $600,000 of final portfolio value. The best time to start the 500 per month plan was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I want to speak to you directly one final time, because I know there are two specific thoughts running in your mind right now. The first thought is, this is real and I should start. The second thought is, I'll figure out the account setup this weekend. I have had both of these thoughts after reading about the 500 per month plan. And then the weekend arrives, and there is something more immediate competing for the Saturday morning, and the account setup gets moved to next weekend. And next weekend becomes next month. And next month becomes the ambient background intention of someone who is planning to invest seriously once things settle down. Things do not settle down. Life does not produce a calm, convenient Saturday morning with nothing competing for your attention and perfect clarity about every step of the process. The account setup takes 27 minutes. I know because I timed myself doing it for the first time at Fidelity. 27 minutes from opening the browser to automatic monthly transfer scheduled. There is no version of your Saturday that does not have 27 minutes available. The question is whether those 27 minutes produce a Roth IRA with an automatic $500 monthly transfer to VTI that executes for the next 30 years, or whether those 27 minutes produce something that you will not remember in 30 years. One is worth $1 million. The other is not. The calculator is free. The account is free. The fund has a $30 annual fee per 100,000 invested. The only cost is 27 minutes, and the decision to treat the plan as real rather than aspirational. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab. Pick one. Open the Roth IRA. Set the automatic transfer to $500 monthly on the 2nd of every month. Buy VTI. Close the browser. Come back in 30 years. The mechanism will have done the rest. Hit the like button right now if this video made the $1 million calculation feel real rather than theoretical. It takes 1 second, and it puts this math in front of someone who has been meaning to start investing seriously for longer than they want to admit. Next, watch my video on the complete Roth IRA setup walkthrough. I show every screen, every decision, and the exact settings I use so you can follow along and have your automatic investment running before the video ends. And I want one specific answer from you in the comments right now. What is your current monthly investment amount? And what would you need to change to reach $500 per month? Not what you wish it was. The actual current number and the actual gap. Because the gap between your current number and $500 is a specific dollar amount. And that specific dollar amount has a specific name somewhere in your monthly spending. Finding that name and redirecting it is the entire distance between where you are and where Sophie ends up.